Hi Shazoolo. On the issue of Christian humour, religious humour and stuff, questions do need to be raised as to the appropriate of the use of humour by Christians, no matter what field of ministry they're in, if they're going to publicly represent the Christian church. And the use of such jokes and humour and questions like that to bring laughter and jollity to the Christian church is something that does need to be addressed and carefully looked at. So I'm going to respond to your video in what I feel is an appropriate response for a Christian to deal with what you have filled this video with. There is this vicar, and he's looking for a pet for his wife. Now he goes into the pet shop. He can't quite find the pet he wants, so he goes out the pet shop to go and look somewhere else and thinks he'd look at a newspaper. But he leaves the pet shop and there's this bloke in this alleyway, and he says, "Vic, you looking for a pet, vicar? I've got the perfect pet for you." And vicar, he's a toothy vicar from Tooting, says, I'm really looking for a pet for my wife. I'm on a mission field, you see, so I'm really not sure if I should be coming into alleyways to look for them, young man. And he says, "No, vicar, no, I've got the perfect pet for you." So he says, "Come and have a look at this." And by this dustbin on the floor, there's this mutt. There's this mutt of a scrawny dog that hasn't been washed for a year by the look of it. And the vicar says, "Oh no, I really don't think this is appropriate, young man, for what I'm looking for my wife at our lovely 17th century vicarage." And he says, "No, vicar, it's a perfect pet for you. It's a Christian dog." He said, "A Christian dog? Never such heard of such thing. We don't have this sort of thing in our theology, you know. It's not exactly in the Bible, is it? No Christian dogs there, young man." He says, "No, well, actually, this dog's been a spirit-filled believer since he was a pup," he said. And he pulls out this Bible and puts it in front of the dog. He says, "John 3:16. And the dog, all of a sudden, when the vicar's about to try a walk out, goes through the pages and puts his paw on the Bible. Big slam! And the vicar stops. And the guy picks the Bible up. And the dog's put his paw on John 3:16. He said, that's quite incredible trick there." And he says, "No, look at it again." He says, "Romans 8:28. And he goes through. Dog finds the page, Romans 8:28. Old Testament this time, vicar. He says, Leviticus 18:18. And he goes through, right to the front of the book, slams it book down on Leviticus 18:18. He says, "How's about that then? Convinced?" And the vicar says, "Totally convinced, but can I have a go, please?" And he says, "Certainly, whatever you want to do." He said, "Okay, Job 13, verse 5. And the dog finds Book of Job 13, verse 5. Psalm 102, verse 3. Dog finds 102, and his nail goes straight down, little claw straight on verse 3. That's absolutely amazing. That's absolutely amazing. I'm definitely going to have this. Thank you very much." And he agrees a price with the guy and takes the dog home. He gets into his wife and she's saying, "Oh, what have you got me there? Have you got me some something to clean the house with?" He says, "No, it's a Christian dog, my dear. A Christian dog. Born again, spirit-filled believer since he was a pup." His wife says, "Oh, you're pulling my leg, young man. You're pulling my leg, you cheeky so-and-so. Get it out, it's filthy." No, he says, "Look, watch this." And he puts the dog down and he puts the family Bible in front of it. He says, Paul, he said, the letter of Jude, verse 11. Dog goes to the Bible, turns the page over, Paul on Jude, verse 11. He says, first letter to Timothy, chapter 3, verse 8. And the dog finds Timothy, verse 8. He says, okay, Old Testament now this time. We'll go for Malachi 2, verse 1. And he finds Malachi 2, and his little claw goes straight onto verse 1. And the wife is gobsmacked. She doesn't know what to believe. She's just totally amazed. She's, my darling, at the women's meeting, the women's prayer group, this is going to be absolutely the talk of the town. We're going to be praising the Lord all night long for this. Oh, thank you for a wonderful gift. She says, but does the doggy do any doggy tricks? And the vicar says, you know, I don't know. So he says to the dog, Doggy, heel. And the dog gets up, walks over to his wife, puts his paws on her, and begins to pray for her in tongues.